what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are at the LA Auto Show for the 2022 year edition, and guess what? Walking around, we had to stop at the Genesis booth, and we have this amazing car here. This is gonna be your Genesis X concept convertible. First time being seen here at the LA Auto Show. But before we dive into this luxury drop top, let's talk about what's going on here. Genesis, this brand that actually spun off from a model. Remember, the Genesis sedan, the Genesis coupe were once part of the Hyundai lineup. Eventually, Hyundai wanted to create that premium brand, and that's where Genesis emerged. Now, what's interesting is they've been very smart with bringing out new models. Obviously, it's been a big couple years with their SUVs coming out, the GV80, the GV70, moving towards electrification. And guess what? With this Genesis X, that is what you're getting, luxury and electrification in a two-door setup with a drop top. But what I want to find out is Genesis the king of the luxury sedans, the luxury cars and SUVs? Let's dive into this drop top and find out. Right off the bat, the style. Something that Genesis is bringing to the table is obviously extreme, elegant style. Tasteful, but also enough to catch your attention and be a unique identifier to the brand. On this Genesis X, you could see how they've worked the LED lighting. You could then turn to the internet and check out a G80, a G70, a G90, and you see that same form here in this two-door drop top. On the lower portion, we do have fully functional venting on the corners. I love the way you got this pearlescent white paint. And then coming across the front area of the vehicle, this is where you get that brand identifier. One of the things you'll notice that we've been talking on Raiti's Rides is how that large grille has really fit well on this Genesis lineup. This being an electrified vehicle, no need for the big major grille, but what they did very smartly is use the LED lighting. This is a way that brands are gonna create personality with their electrified vehicles. And you could see this going down the road, you would know immediately what it is. Now on the lower portion, I love the way that they have this large open area, that crisscross diamond design. Everything comes to a point, functionality, because obviously the big question is, with this being an electrified vehicle, what's gonna be powering it? What I would kind of think you would find would be some type of lithium ion battery pack, one or two motors. I'm gonna say that it's gonna be rear wheel drive base, but then go to all wheel drive, but definitely from the front looking good. Now on that low slung sexy hood, this is really evoking just a classy, timeless design. You got your Genesis badge that's actually been recessed into the hood for aerodynamic efficiency, because remember, when it comes to electrified vehicles, it's not just the size of the battery, it's also gonna be how the vehicle cuts through the air to help increase that range. But that wonderful long hood, I'm gonna swing around so that we could take a look at the wheels and tires on this. So I love the way that they've done this very smart, clean design, that crisscross pattern, the Genesis badge, has that center locking wheel lug setup there. And then look at the size of the rotors. Pizza, massive 16.5-inch rotors, cross-drilled, fully ventilated, two-piece, and those 6-piston Brembo calipers with the Genesis name in a nice bright orange. Obviously, you're gonna expect to find regen braking, I'm sure different levels like we brought you with the GV60, but definitely looking in this form, absolutely stunning. Nice, crisp paper lines, just like taking a fresh piece of paper and folding it. You can see how they do that with the Genesis style. You have your side marker lights, which is also another brand identifier with their different vehicles in their lineup. Coming up onto the mirrors, you look at this, there is no actual mirror. That's an actual camera setup. Lori's gonna swing around, show the camera. You could see the actual monitor and see what is in your blind spot. On the lower portion, you have that nice side sill extension, how it extends out and how that air is just gonna glide effortlessly down the side of the vehicle. The great news about this being a drop top is that, guess what? You could actually get an idea of what's on the interior, because at Pebble Beach this year, they actually had the Genesis X, but in the coupe form, hardtop, this is the drop top. So I'm gonna have Lori kind of swing out and show you just what is happening from behind the business end. Look at the materials, look at the screens. That's something that Genesis has really upgraded in their current production models, but also on this concept, that digital dash, steering wheel with the flat bottom. Of course, you're gonna have your buttons for your different modes, your paddles for your regen braking, even that screen on the center console looking really fresh. We're gonna have a flat bottom floor in the vehicle because it is a BEV, a battery electric vehicle. Love the single solid seats for both the passenger and the driver. Wonderful stitching, wonderful use of materials, that floating center console, and then of course enough room for some people in the back as well. Now as we coast towards the back, you have a nice clean tonneau cover, gives it that nice aerodynamic efficiency, but also a classy kind of speedster style to it. Swinging around the back, look at that flared out fender. I mean, it's one of those things that you look at each intricate part of this vehicle, there's so much detail that they put into this vehicle that you know it's gonna trickle down into the production lineup. And then just like up front, the LED lighting, what they do with the LED lighting. And this is something, like I said, on all EVs, this is how you get the personality, this is how you get all of that into it. Lower portion, total rear diffuser. Really looking super clean. You got that same grille design as we found up front. But these are the kinds of things that we have at the LA Auto Show. I want to go back up front and really just kind of focus on some of the touches to not only the outside, but the inside. Lori's going to show you on the passenger side this bridge system, this floating center console. You can see how that really frees up the space, but yet the driver is still very focused, very central in this actual portion of the vehicle. Another thing that I think that was super smart with this car is how they blacked out the window frame. By going with a blacked out window frame, it makes the car not look so heavy up top, kind of brings that down. You have your center speaker. You could actually see mounted up top, your 3 different speakers for the sound system. And then of course, I think my favorite part has gotta be the hood of this vehicle. But the big question will be, are they gonna move forward with this? Could this be the sign of some type of return of a coupe to the lineup? Because I know that's one thing a lot of people have been wanting, is some type of Genesis coupe to come back. And this kind of takes it to the next level times 10, not only from, of course, power that can be displaced from the electric motors, but also from the style and the design, especially when it comes to what's going on as we wrap it around the front here. It's one of those things that the more I stare at this car, the more I notice about it and the more I like it, especially from the look standpoint and especially with that drop top being in the down position and really allowing everything to come together. But like I said, it's great to see Genesis making a name for itself. Yes, they took a page from a lot of other car companies, creating a premium brand, Honda with Acura, Nissan with Infiniti, Toyota with Lexus. But it's nice with Genesis taking this technology, but also taking the fit, the finish, and the materials. I think that's one of the biggest things that anybody says that's a Mercedes-Benz fan, BMW, or Audi. Once they get inside of Genesis and they realize the materials and the technology and how everything is so seamlessly integrated, that's where people start to buy in. So it's going to be interesting to see where Genesis goes, not only with this vehicle, but also as a brand, and also when it comes to dealership locations and having standalone Genesis dealerships. But let me know what you think about this Genesis X. Have they hit the nail on the head? Is this really something that you're really excited for? Let me know. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. Definitely got to thank the person behind the camera, doing all the work, showing the business. Lori is definitely enjoying this Genesis. It's one of those vehicles that SUV, sedan, but also when it comes to drop top convertible, can definitely have it done. I'm actually gonna see if we could get this done. Why don't we swing it around? And what they actually have down below is this is the car from Pebble Beach. So I wasn't going to show this. This is all off the fly. But here is going to be your hardtop version of the car I was just showing you. You could see the similarities, but you could also see the differences with this vehicle. I'm digging the color, that emerald sort of green with the tan, the way you have the sleek body lines, nice crisp body lines. Of course, as we drop down, I'm really liking these wheels and tires and those massive highlighter yellow, green calipers, 6-piston Brembo calipers. Unbelievable what they brought with these vehicles here at the auto show. But let me know what you think. Has Genesis pulled it off? Are they doing the business when it comes to luxury style? And I guess we'll have to wait and see what the performance is, but let me know in that comment section. Thank you, Lori, for helping me get this all squared away with this review. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.